Hello everyone and welcome to this video. Today we are going to be adding some functionality to our menu bar in Tkinter. So if we actually run this, let me do that. So we had this menu bar and if you click file and open, so if you click these commands, nothing actually happens. So we're actually going to be adding some functionality to these commands. So first thing we want to, the very first thing we want to do is we are actually, what we're going to do is where is it? We're in our submenus. First I'm gonna do this about us box. But how are we going to add some functionality? So we are going to use the message box in Tkinter and also the file dialog box. So right here, I'm just gonna do it here. I'm gonna say from Tkinter import message box, comma, file dialog. So it will do these both at once. So not import, and that should fix the error. Now, after you have done that, here in the sub menu bit, in our help sub menu, we created this command called about us, and when we want to click it, we want something to happen. So how are we going to do this? It is similar, it's very similar to a button. All you need to do is you need to say command is equal to and the function. So the function we're going to create is going to be called about us. So it'll give information about the person who made this MP3 player, and obviously that will be you guys and me. So what we're going to do is we're going to create define this function, and we need to do it before this submenu command. Now why do we need to do this? If we do it after, it will throw you an error. You can try it yourself, but I wouldn't recommend trying it. I'll just recommend you following what I'm doing, because if you do define it after, this red line will not disappear at all and it will just stay there. So what we're going to do is, obviously we want to define our function. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a function called about us, no parameters at all. And what do we want this to do? Now we're going to use Tkinter's message box. So we need to say message box dot. And there are 3 different types. So what types are there? There is show info, show warning, and there is also show error. Now what do what do show info and show warning actually do? So show info is, it doesn't these 3 do not have any effects at all. So basically, if you have a show info message box, it will have an info icon. If you have a show warning box, it'll give you a warning, and if you have a show error, it'll give you an error. So what we want to do is we want an info, because this is about us. So we're going to say messagebox.show info, and we need to include 2 parameters. So the first parameter is the title for this message box. So we're going to say about mp3 player, because this is the mp3 player. So that is the title for our actual message box. So this title is like the title for a window, except it's for a message box. And after that, we have also got another parameter, and this is the information that you want the message box to show. Now the information for me is basically, this is my information. This is an this is an mp3 player made by IT guys in PyCharm. Now obviously you do not need to write this exact thing, otherwise that would be weird. You don't have to write that, because I'm not forcing you to, because it's your mp3 player, not mine. So we can actually go ahead and run this now and actually try it. So if you go to help about us, it'll give the usual sound. It'll have a show info, and it says this is an MP3 player made by IT guys in Python. Okay, so this is what a message box is, and the title is basically this title over here, and this information is this information over here. So, and when you press OK, it disappears, and it's a bit functional. So now we're going to do this open and exit bit. So if we run this again, what do we want this open command to actually do? Now, this open command will open a selected music file, and when it opens this selected music file, you can select the music file, it will open it, and then you can play that selected music file. Okay? So what we are going to do is we are going to use File Dialog for this. So that is what it's for. So what we're going to do is in this open one, we're going to add a command, and this one will be called browse file, because we want to browse through our users' files and let them select. Okay. So what is this function going to do? Well, we want it to browse files. So Tkinter has a widget called File Dialog. So what we're going to do is, for now, we're just going to define a function called browse file, and no parameters. We're just going to say file name is equal to actually no, what we're gonna say is we're gonna say file dialog dot ask open file name. So basically it's just gonna ask you to open something. So if you run this now, file open, we will have this where it will go through everything. It'll just it will just kind of open this up. Okay, so that is what it is going to do. Yeah, so it will just open up a random thing, and so on and so forth. Now we want when we open something, we want it to actually play that file. So what we're going to do is we're going to store this file dialog thing in a variable called file name, and we're going to make this file name global, so we can use it in other functions and not just this. Okay, so so we want to actually play just play the music that they opened. So how are we going to do this? So down here in play music, what we're going to do is we are going to, instead of saying mixer.music.load journey.wave, you want it to load this file name. Okay, so now if we run this, you go to file, open, and then you choose journey, or should play it. Okay, so it's played that. So now if we run this again and just press normal play. Okay, so nothing is happening. What we want it to actually do is we want this to actually show an error by and say like, hey, whoever's using this MP3 player, you have not opened the file, so this MP3 player cannot play it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to use try and accept errors for this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to say, so I want it to try to load this music. Okay, now actually before we do that, I want to show you what actually happens. So if we open this up and open this up, so it has actually given us a error saying name file name is not defined. This is a play error. So this is why we're going to use try and accept. So we want it to try this. And obviously, if there is no file name, then we want this exec to come up. So if there is no actually except name error. So if a name error is there, we're going to use a message box. So I'm going to say messagebox dot show error this time, because we want to make sure it's an error. So this error is going to be called a file not found error, and this is what it's going to say. It's going to say mp3 player could not find the file specified. Please open an existing file. Okay, so that is what we are going to say to our dear user, and I'm just going to put this on a new line so her PyCharm is not complaining. So this is what it's going to say. So if we spell specified correctly and then run this, shift F10 to run if you're in PyCharm, play music. mp3 player could not find the file specified. Please open an existing file. Okay, file open. You want to open a journey. Okay, so that is actually playing now. So you made it actually work. Okay, so also if we run this, I just want to show you one more thing. When you press exit, nothing is happening. So we want this to actually exit from the whole music player itself. So this is actually a pretty easy function. So how are we going to do this? In here we are going to say in this exit label, we're going to say command is equal to exit player. That is what we are going to call our function. And let's say on the browse file, we're going to create this function. So define a function called exit player, no parameters. This is actually pretty easy, root.destroy. Now, what is this one going to do? So what does root.destroy do? Root.destroy basically, so what it does is it basically just destroys the whole root and quits. So it gives the illusion the user is actually quitting properly, but all it's doing is it is just destroying the whole thing. So if you say shift F7 to run, file exit, and it goes away. So well done guys for just adding functionality to your message box. Okay, so what have we done today? So today we learned how to, when we press help, we use the message box to give us some info, and we could open a file, and if we press this, nothing actually happened. Okay, so nothing happened because we didn't open a file. If we clicked it like that, it says mp3 player cannot find the file specified, please open an existing file. Pressed OK, and when we open and when we press exit, it exits, and when we open a file to play, it will actually play that file. Okay, so that is what it will do. So we have done that now. In the next video, we'll be adding some a status bar. So like we're going to be adding a status bar to give us some info on what is happening in our mp3 player. Okay, so that is what we're going to be doing in the next video. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and if you have any comments or doubts, please as always comment them in the comment section below. Please look out for my next video where we will be adding a status bar, and I guess that's the end of this video. Bye!